Good afternoon, everybody. It is Friday, the 31st of July. This is my weekly update. I hope you all had a good week, and this is free. So if you want to join us, link in the description. Not the easiest of weeks, but closing strong, and SPY is closing at the high of the week with 30 minutes to go. Kind of a little surprise. ES is there too. So ES, this was the low. We had a nice little reversal and pop back up here. The NQ has come raging back as well. Crude, despite everything going on with the war, doesn't not doing much. One concern remains bonds. Bonds remain extremely weak. We have the 10-year at a new multi-year high, and overall that is just not a good thing. But so far the market is trying to shrug it off. What else? The VIX said, "Yeah, no, I didn't mean anything." The VIX is completely smashed down. All that worry we had from Wednesday is gone. What else here with stuff like this here? VIX signal working, correct. What else? You look around, yeah, IWM beat up and holding in. The banks held up and they came back. Energy up a little bit, but not raging. The market looks okay. So let's talk about what's really going on here under the covers. And we've talked a little bit about South Korea, and South Korea market was up today. Now, I know we're selling it here, but that doesn't really mean much because it's really not about what we do with the ETF here. It's really about what the South Korean market does when it opens on Sunday night around 8 p.m. Eastern time. And it was up, remind me here, guys, what was it up today, the Kospi? 18%, something like that? Right. 18%, right. Saying that things are changing here. We had a fun blow up this week. That was the Leo. What was the name of the fund? Somebody help me out here. It's been a long week. But the fund blew up. The AI fund, yeah, and it got absolutely Leo's fund, right? Got destroyed. A lot of conversation around there that the Citadel who bought it, they're the ones that were the ones that helped destroy it. There's supposedly three other funds in trouble, but maybe this is helping. All right, so we have a lot of this going on. So let's talk about it. This week's been about earnings and what's going on out there. And overall, yeah, don't get me started. I need to get the new keyboard. This one's killing me. The SMH is not a pretty candle today, but trying to wake up and trying to break back to the upside. Same thing with DRAM. Micron, not good. SNDK, not good. If you're looking for negativity here, yeah, the bounce was in areas mostly out of tech. Momentum names in general have not doing well here, and that continued. They sold them off today. NVIDIA has recame 200 here into the close. We have AMD doing nothing that they report on Tuesday of next week. So what was good? Well, this week has really been about some of these big hyperscalers. Microsoft on Wednesday had a blowout report. I don't know if you pay attention to it, you don't listen to the calls, but their report was just an incredible report. They're growing, their data center is growing by leaps and bounds, and they look great. And you're getting rewarded. You have a huge move from 390 all the way up to 460 plus here, and 466, the recent highs, looks doable. We had a absolute godly report out of Amazon. And I know some of you guys want to say to me, "Oh, their week their next quarter guidance wasn't great. It was right at the midpoint." I'm like, they lowered it. I'm like, yes, but they lowered it because of dollar headwinds and they're moving their prime day to out of this quarter to next quarter. If you really listen, and I want you guys to think about this, you have to listen to their calls and what they talked about in data center, they are killing it. They are bringing people up faster, their margins improved, and they said AWS will be a $1 trillion revenue run rate in 2028. Think about that. $1 trillion revenue run rate in 2028. What are they doing now, guys? What is their run rate right now for the year? 150, 180 million? I mean, do you realize the kind of growth they're talking about there? It is an incredible amount of growth. So you have this huge move on this one pushing up and looks great. And, the all-time high is up there at 278 and change. And I think they're going to go get that. And I still am long it. Let's talk about Meta. Meta's report. I don't have a lot of good to say about Meta. And I own it. I added some more to it today here. So I've, lowered my cost average a bit. Um, What do I think about Meta? I don't think they're in any trouble. I think they'll be just fine at the end of the day. They've worked their way into the gap, but it wasn't a report that there was anywhere you could sink your teeth into. And sometimes that's a problem. Now, if the market rallies like mad, they're going to get caught up in it and they'll come running back. Last week, the market hated Google's reports, Alphabet's report. I thought they were doing the right thing. I didn't think it was bad. And price action is proving me right as we have now come up and almost back to the 50-day and all the earnings weakness is gone. Looks good. So your big leaders today were Microsoft, Amazon, and Google. Apple, Tim Cook's last um, conference call for earnings, and I'm going to tell you, I did not like that report. It was a stinker report. Yeah, they're off the lows of 300, but honestly, China numbers were a big miss. Services were a big miss. Memory problems, and everybody's like, well, they're not spending all the money on CapEx. No, but they are putting out 30 billion a year to Google and some unknown number to Baba for AI, and they're not yet monetizing it. So, that is probably 40 plus billion dollars that they're just throwing out there right now. So my thinking is, I think the 200-day room says the 100-day were held last time. They could be right, but I think Apple's going to come down lower before it starts to recover. All right, what else should we talk about, guys? I mean, trading this week was not the easiest. Looking around out there, some names were easier than others. Less was more at times. Google highs of the day. That's not helping me here. IGV is bouncing a bit. We have Palantir earnings on Monday night. Oracle had a decent bounce, hit the 21-day and came down. Snow did make a new all-time high. Um, what else? CRM bounced but didn't hold well, but coming back. Same thing with ServiceNow. Like to see that sector wake up. Hood's report, they sold that. I didn't think it was that bad, but they sold it, coming back a bit. Coin, it was a horrible report. They bought it back. I really did not like that report. There was nothing I liked about that report. Same thing with Reddit. There was nothing to like about that report. We'll see where they go from here. SpaceX, I think, is supposed to report on Tuesday night. This is going to be very big for the markets. Why is it going to be big for the markets? Because, well, SpaceX is one of the largest low float stocks out there in terms that we've seen with market cap. And there is, on August 6th, 20% of the stock is set to unlock. However, if they are 30, what is it, 20, 30% above their IPO price, I think it's 20%, up to another additional big percentage can unlock. So when you're looking at SpaceX, that means it needs to get to, I think we said 162 area. So, don't be surprised with a low float. If they like the report, they pump the hell out of this thing so they can sell more into that on Wednesday. So with that said, it's going to be a long week next week. We have a lot of earnings next week. Most of them they're not, A tier names, but a lot of B tier names. I will be out on Monday, just as a heads up. I'll be at the Wolf Conference all day in New York City. I hope some of you guys are joining me there. And with that said, I'm going to wish you guys a wonderful weekend, and we'll go from there. We'll see what we get, and is the bottom in? I don't know. Definitely nice bounce today. If I was, again, my hesitation here is the Qs are not recovering as nearly as well as the SPY. So we'll see. Catch you guys on Tuesday morning.